Hi everyone. In today's class, I'm going to discuss how to create a 3D object which is shown in figure. So here I'm going to use extrude and I'm going to make the holes using 3D rectangular array. So before starting modeling, no, just read the drawing carefully and observe the dimensions. So in the first step, I'm going to create a rectangle of dimensions 80 and 60. Then I'm going to extrude that with thickness of 10 mm. Later, I'm going to create uh, holes. So by using three rectangular array. So to create this solid, I'm going to use a different template. Up to now, we used 2D templates now. So here we are going to model a 3D part. So let me choose a different template for this. So go to new and select ACAD ISO 3D as the template. So just click open, then you'll have a new document. So I already created a document. So I'm going to create a model. So for my convenience, I'm opting for an isometric view so that I can feel the third dimension. I can clearly see it. So you can just choose this home option. So by default, it will turn into an isometric view. So if you are comfortable, then you can start drawing, or otherwise you can switch on the grid option. So let me switch on the grid option. So initially I'm going to create a rectangle of dimensions length equal to 80 and width equal to 60 mm. So you need to check whether you are using a 3D space or not. So you can go to settings, and here up to now we used drafting and annotations. You need to change the workspace to 3D modeling. Select that. Now initially I'm going to create a rectangle. If you closely observe the cursor, the red line actually represents the x-axis, and the green line represents the y-axis. So you can only draw on xy plane. If you want to flip from one coordinate system to the other coordinate system, you can use like these options. So initially, I will move the cursor, or what to say, UCS icon at the origin. So I will opt for this option. So this icon actually shows the position of the origin, and these lines represents the x, y, and z directions. So I'm going to draw a sketch on the xy plane. So let's start with the rectangle. So randomly I'm creating it initially. So let's click. So once you click, then automatically you find two boxes now. So you need to represent the line should be 80. Press tab, and width is 60. Press enter. So you can zoom in. Now I'm going to add thickness to this. See here, this whole sketch should be selected before extruding, or otherwise you can just press extrude and select the sketch. So let me select the extrude option. I'm adding thickness to this. So from the from the from the figure, no, you can be observed that the thickness is 10 mm. So let's add 10, enter. So now I create a box. Now I'm going to create a circle. So I'm going to draw the circle on the top surface. So you can move the face, you can select the sketch plane by using this option, view. And here I'm going for the face. Let's click this option. I'm selecting the face, press accept. Now I'm going to draw a circle. Let me opt for a top view so that I can easily draw a circle on this. See, initially I'm creating a single component. Later I'm going to use rectangular array to create the remaining holes. If you clearly observe from the sketch, we need 3 columns and 2 rows. Okay, so I'm creating a single entity. So to the distance between this edge and the center of the circle is 15. Similarly, distance between this edge and the center of the circle is 15. So for my convenience, I will draw a rectangle. So I will choose this as the starting point. Now I'm adding a value of 15, tab 15. You can clearly observe it from the sketch. So this point should this intersection point of these two lines now should be the center of the circle. So I'll draw a circle. Let's pick this as the center. So they didn't mention the radius of the circle. So I assume that the diameter of the circle as 10 mm. So enter the radius as 5. Enter. Now I created a circle. Now I'm going to create a cylindrical structure. So let me delete this. If you are not comfortable with this, just press Z enter, A enter, zoom all. Okay, I'll say Z enter, A enter. Now I'm going to create a hole. So I'm using extrude once again. Let me select the cylinder, this circle, because I need to create a cylinder so that in the next step I'm going to subtract it from the box. So then you'll have a hole. So initially I need to extrude this. So I'm opting for the extrude option. I selected the circle, press enter, and randomly add some value. See that you can differentiate the circle from from that rectangular box. So I will add like 30 mm. Randomly I'm creating it. Later I'm going to delete that. So I'm done with the circle and the cylinder. Now let me create an array. So instead of producing multiple cylinders separately, I will opt for a rectangular array option. So to create rectangular array, you can opt for under modify now. I need to pick this option, rectangular array. So it's asking us to specify an object. So for, for, for reference, I'm picking this cylinder, press enter. See, by default, it is showing, it is arranging, creating multiple cylinders along X and Y directions. So I need to flip the orientation. So I just dragged it onto the other side. So now here I'm going to specify the, so according to the the sketch now that according to the question, I need to create 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so let's opt for the top view. See, along this width now, you need to, so I'm opting for number of entities as 2, and along this length I need to create 3 entities. Okay, so here you can clearly observe now when I rotate now, you have 6 entities but spaced exactly according to the dimensions. So I need to adjust the values. So along the columns now, I'm adding a distance of, see, you need to clearly observe the orientation. So columns are along y direction and rows are along x direction. So if you choose a different direction, no, uh, always check whether you are picking the you are selecting the number of columns and rows correctly. Okay, so in this case, according to these coordinates, I need to set number of rows as 3 and number of columns as 2. So based on the dimensions, so the distance between the rows the column should be, from the drawing you can clearly observe now, the value is 30 mm. So I will add a value here. So let me put it as minus 30. Then along the rows the value should be 25. So let me cross check whether we did it correctly or not. So this looks good. I'm satisfied with this these values. So once you are satisfied with the placement of those entities, you need to click this close array icon. Then only multiple entities will be placed. So click this icon. So automatically it will create, it created 6 entities. Okay. So if you select one of the entities now, see, all the entities are selected because we used array. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explode this array so that each cylinder will be assumed as a single entity. So I'm going to explode the array. So to explode, command is explode. So I'm picking this option. Now I'm going to select this array, press enter. So we went for explode, and if you select one of the entities, see, only the individual entity will be picked. So I'm done with the array. Now what I'm going to do is I want to subtract these cylindrical entities from this rectangular box. So you need to subtract. So let's opt for subtract option from solid editing option. So I'm picking this option, subtract. So initially you need to select an entity from which you need to subtract some entities. So I need to select the box as the first entity, press enter. Now I'm going to select the entities that are to be subtracted from the box. So let's select these entities individually and press enter. So automatically those cylinders will be subtracted from the rectangular box. So I'll go to home. So this looks good. If you want to add dimensions, you can add dimensions directly to this solid, or otherwise you can get the the views based on this solid model. So I'm going to create the drawings based on this. So I'm using layout to create drawings. First move to layout. So let's adjust the size of the sheet. So let me go to just right click on this layout option and use page setup manager. I'll modify the size. So let's choose A4 size with landscape orientation. So I'm opting for the second one. So I'll leave the default values. See, the scale is 1:1. Areas to plot now should be layout. Click OK. Then close the window. So you'll have this viewport area. So I'm going to delete this initially. So to delete it now. First initially click on the empty space. Then select this rectangular box. This is actually the viewport area. At present you are unable to view now. I don't want this. I want to just create the views based on the model that we created. So I'm deleting that viewport. Now to generate the views, go to layout. So you can press this tab. So under create views, you have base option. Let me pick this. So I'm going to create the views based on the part that we created under model space. So I need to pick this from model space option. Then it view. And if you click on the graphic window, a view will be placed. So by default, it will pick the front view of the model that we created. So just click on the graphic window. Now from the ribbon, you can adjust the values. Like I'm opting for a scale of 1:1. So this actually governs the settings of the view. So at present, by default, it is picking the front view. So I can choose the front view of that part. Then you can use the scale as 1:1. If they specify the scale factor, then you need to follow that. Otherwise, better to keep it as 1:1. It depends on the size of the part. So we are actually using A4 size sheet now. So see that it fits into the sheet. Now you can change the state of the figure. So I'm opting for instead of solid modeling now, I'll go for visible and hidden lines option. Let me select this. Once you are satisfied with this view, you can just click OK. So once I click OK, no, that front view will be placed, and the setting will change to projected view. See, when I move the cursor based on the position of the cursor, a view will be displayed. So if you are satisfied with that view, you can just click on the graphic window. So now I want to project the top view of this. So I will click on the graphic window to place the top view, then move the cursor. If you want, you can place the isometric view. So I will place somewhere here. So once you are done with the number of views, no, just press enter. Without pressing enter, views won't be placed there. So press enter, then views will be placed. So you can readjust these actual views. So see, this is the first view that you created. So I will just select the view, hold this rectangular square box and drag it. So wherever you want to keep, you can keep the view. So automatically the top view, which is related to the front view, will also move. If you want to move the top view, just select and drag it. So this isometric view is independent, so you can place it anywhere. So this is how you create the views. So once you are done with this, press escape. Now I need to add the dimensions. So dimensions can be placed on top view or the front view, but you can't add dimensions to the isometric view. So here, see, you observe these hidden lines. These hidden lines actually represents a hole. So to represent the hole, no, I'm using center lines. So to create center lines, move to annotate, and here you have an option center line. So generally, if you have cylindrical entities, definitely you need to show the axis of those cylindrical features. So you need to use center lines to create that. So it's very easy. Just select the two entities. So at the middle, it will create a center line. So similarly, I will select one more entity. I'm selecting these two entities. Press enter and choose the last two entities. So this gray line actually represents a center line. So in case of the top, this looks like a circle. So I will mark center marks instead of going for center lines. So you can opt for center mark and choose the circles to place the center marks. So definitely you need to place these features. Otherwise, maybe you get confused with different features. So with center lines and center marks. Now let me add dimensions. So I'm using, let's choose the dimensions. So according to your convenience, you can place the dimensions on top view or both top and front views. I'll start from here. So let me pick this entity and place it here. So let me represent the length of the box, diameter of the circle, just click and place it on. Just click on the layout. You can it will place the dimension. So I'll show the distance between these two center lines. Then distance between the edge and the center line. Uh, I'll show the thickness of this base and also distance between these two center marks. So if I try to add dimensions to the isometric view, we can't do it. So if you select no, you don't have that option. So you can only add dimensions to the top view, front view, or the side view. So this is how you can create a drawing. So don't forget to add the dimensions. Without dimensions, the drawing doesn't have any meaning. So this is how we create the views. So to take a printout, just right click on the layout. Just press escape. Right click on the layout and go for plot. So choose, I want to convert this into a PDF. So we are opting for DWG to PDF. So I'm picking this option. then click OK. So name, add a name and press save. Then it will create a PDF showing the different views of a part. So this is how you create drawings. So I hope you understood. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.